Most people believe that college athletes should not be paid because education is more valuable. College athletes spend more time on the sport they are playing than school because it is what keeps them at their school. Playing a sport in college is different from just going to college because it builds a heavy schedule. Attending a sporting event, you can notice how hard an athlete works to win or lose, especially in college, because not only do they have to attend lectures, but they must maintain a hefty schedule of studying and practicing. I have attended many sporting events in the past, including college football games. I personally know some college athletes that I went to high school with who talk about their experience in it so far. The system is unfair to college athletes because college sports bring in tons of revenue and are considered as workers under labor laws. And the talent shown by athletes should receive some of the profits. First, I'll talk about the benefits of making money from college sports. Then I'll talk about how athletes are considered employees. And finally, I'll touch on the topic of why athletes should receive money for being talented. First and foremost, I'll discuss the benefits and revenue that the colleges, coaches, and staff receive from college sports. Many college sports fanatics look forward to supporting their favorite colleges by wearing merchandise and attending games. College sports like football and basketball have a big audience. They both make the most income out of any other college sport. Colleges receive tons of revenue just from sporting events. According to Victoria Lee Blackstone in 2019 article for Finance, college sports bring in well over $1 billion per year. However, the vast majority of this revenue is generated by college football teams. This statistic shows that college sports can make a ton of money off of the athletes. Before someone attends a game, they will most likely want to show who they are representing. Some ways of representing their favorite colleges are by wearing jerseys, t-shirts, and hats from the college's student store. According to Jasmine Harris, writing on the website The Conversation in 2019, as noted in the report, college sports programs took in an average of US 14 billion in 2018 through ticket sales, television contracts, and apparel deals. This means just off of ticket sales and merchandise sales that college athletes can make money for the program but themselves. With all the money that colleges receive, athletes are not able to use it for daily expenses like food and necessities. Next, I will be discussing how athletes can benefit from being paid and use it towards their expenses. Athletes are given full ride scholarships that typically cover their tuition and other school-related expenses. The athletes are not given additional compensation and are not allowed to take any money from endorsement deals. The NCAA and the media are exploiting talented young athletes for their own financial gain. The athletes spend the same amount of time in the sport, just like an employee would with their full-time job. According to Maddie Weiss and Nathan Noble in the article published by Scholastic in 2018, it is unfair that college athletes don't get paid. They work hard. Players on top college football teams devote 43 hours per week to practice and games. According to an NCAA survey, that's more than most hours worked each week. That is an absurd amount of time put into a sport while attending college. Athletic scholarships may not cover all expenses unless you have a full ride scholarship. It is indeed rare to receive a full ride scholarship from a Division I college because of the competition and the maximum amount of scholarships each college can give out. Athletes are not guaranteed their scholarships for all 4 years because if they get injured, then they are at risk of losing their scholarship. They will not obtain any money either to pay for medical bills or recovery. I have now discussed how athletes are not given extra money to pay for their needs. Finally, I will now be talking about why talent should receive some of the profits. We have already talked about how college athletes spend the same amount of time as a full-time employee. Athletes showcase their talent every week at practice and sporting events. Some athletes even have dreams of making it to the NFL or the NBA, which makes them give it their all, making it entertaining for spectators. College athletes put their bodies and time on the line daily on the practice field and at sporting events. They represent each college and help them increase sales for tickets or merchandise. In the article, COVID-19 and Exploitation of NCAA Athletes by Azmatullah Husseini and Jules Lipoff, the authors state college students on athletic scholarships put their bodies and time on the line in exchange for tuition, room, and board. The debate over pay for college athletes has always been about the compensation for risk and efforts. COVID-19 has only added to those risks. As a group of UCAA football players recognize, during these tough times, many athletes have their games canceled and spend most of their time at home. Many of them probably don't know where their next meal will be coming from. They start already getting free school and living expenses, but not extra cash for any other expenses. Athletes are away from home due to COVID-19 and are isolated in athletic facility or college housing. The talent of athletes are showcased on live television and provide entertainment for fans and viewers from home. They should be the ones receiving profit since they are at high risk of injury and put so many hours to improve their performance. Not only do they help colleges receive money for ticket sales and merchandise, but they also help television channel or programs earn profit off of the college athletes. Lastly, I have discussed my three main points, and to sign off, I will now be concluding why athletes should be paid. First, I talked about the benefits of making money from college sports. Then I talked about how the athletes are considered employees. And finally, I touched on the topic of why athletes should receive money for being talented. The system is unfair to college athletes because college sports brings in tons of revenue. They are also considered as workers under labor laws, and the talent shown by athletes should receive profits. To end the speech off, I'll be presenting a quote by the Lakers legend Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Common decency demands that NCAA athletes should be paid, but the only way it will happen is the same way workers get paid throughout American history, through a strong union. Thank you.